drives that action. But let's waste no more time yapping about it. It's time to get into Champ Select, powered by HyperX, here for the first time at the MSI 2026 main stage. We've got HLE choosing the blue side here, and they're going to go ahead, ban out the Orianna, the Vi here in their first two bans. Other side, it's the Poppy banned away alongside that Camille support that you talked about that has skyrocketed in priority.
Yeah, still the mage is going to be open. You can try and look for a few of those funky picks, but definitely the Camille has been pairing so well alongside them, setting up things like the Ziggs, being incredibly active in the early stages, and especially coming into MSI, the fact that we're getting more of those engaged supports is going to be, well, delightful for Delight, as he is someone who was fine in the mages, but definitely a key engaged support player over the years.
I mean, Delight has been one of my favorite engaged support players to watch over the years, like you've been talking about. Like some of this guy's plays, you remember some of the historic moments on things like the Rell, getting the massive AoE engages. I would love to see him on picks like that here in this one, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes down. We do have the Rumble and the Nautilus banned out here as our last bans of the first half of the draft, and Team Secret Whales is going to open things up with a Lee Sin for Hizto. If I see Lee Sin in the game, Dagda, I have a rule. If I see Lee Sin in the game, and at level 7, he is 0, 0, and 0, you should have picked a different champion. This champion makes things happen. It's skill expressive. It gets it done. But over on the other side, HLE is going to respond with some long-range power. It's Jayce and Ziggs, both locked in.
Yeah, which is less than ideal for a Lee Sin when you want to try and play up close and personal. If you can close the gap, fantastic. But I think Hizto going to have his work cut out for him. At least adding the Ryze could end up giving you some control over that mid-jungle, but trying to add a little bit of poke for themselves, going back towards the Ezreal, not the end of the world, and also something that can try and play away from some of these Zig bombs in the bottom lane.
All right, so we've got that Ezreal locked in. What's going to go there alongside it? Still a little bit of time to think here for Secret Whales. The Ryze, that is going to be the pick here.
Yeah, I'm curious what the answer is going to be for Zeka, because we have seen the Anivia as an answer. That's not a thing. Don't look at that one.
Yeah, anybody out there watching, you're not actually allowed to pick him in this competition. You can hover him because
he's
it's funny.
Out.
Okay, all right. Somewhere out there, freak is happy.
But I do think like the Cassiopeia and the Anivia were the two answers, so they're going to go back towards the Cassiopeia, which does make sense. When you've got a lot of the kind of poke champions, having something that plays well when you have that all-in engage to buy that space is going to be very, very nice, and something that Zeka has looked decent on.
Yep, Zeka on the Cassiopeia, a player that for a long time was under scrutiny for like a limited champion pool. You remember back in when he won his world title with DRX, it was during this meta that ended up being perfect for him with the Sylas and the Akali being mid lane. But he has really opened up that pool more recently, playing with Kanavi aggressively in this jungle to open him up to be more comfortable on things like control mages. So Cassio versus Ryze there in the mid lane. I like the Ziggs for Gumayusi as well, since he often ends up weak-sided. You just sit there, you throw bombs, you clear the wave. It's just like, okay, I'm not engaging with you, you don't engage with me. Plays will happen somewhere else on the map.
And he's had some nice outplays in those positions as well, where they've tried to dive him under the terror on this pick. So I'm excited to see what he can achieve. I was curious what the jungle pick was going to be for Kanavi, though. You can already see Team Secret Whales targeting him with that Trundle that does well into the Lee Sin in the early stages. And again, I think he wants something that can kind of scrap against the Lee Sin early, but at least provide some sort of zone control to set up for these long-range hitters.
Yeah, and banning away the Trundle from your opponent. Anytime you have a jungle champion like a Lee Sin or a Xin Zhao who has power budget invested in gap closing and diving, Trundle is going to stat check them. It's just the way the game works. So getting rid of that, I always respect it. Bard banned away. Interesting from HLE. This is a very popular pick for both supports. So HLE is saying, that's fine. Delight doesn't need it here in this game. We'll just let it pass.
I think it's also good against a lot of these long-range champions, right? Like Jayce doesn't really have the mobility, so Bard can hit him with the tempered face, makes that gap closing a little bit easier. Looks like it might be the Skarner, though. Curious if it is going to be the jungle or if it'll actually end up going into that support role, because we haven't seen it from Delight, but Bay has actually been playing it in that support role. But yeah, just going to be taking it. I'm going to have to wait and see exactly where that one's going to land.
Okay, Skarner locked in. Is a flex pick, like you say, so we'll see if they can get any value out of that. But over on Secret Whales' side, I'm still going to need to see their support. I'm still going to need to see the other solo laner here. They know they're dealing with Jayce and Cassiopeia, obviously expecting the Ryze to go mid. But what's the support going to be here with this? It's two long-range poke champions as your bottom lane carries.
Yeah, I think you need some sort of engage. So looks like it might be the Rell here for me, and he is going to just lock that in. And I think, honestly, Pun might just have to kind of tank it here a little bit and go towards something like the Ornn. I think you need the engage. Although he looks like, again, like Pun has been a player that has liked these counter picks where he can find like answers into the Jayce. But yeah, I think you just need a tank here that can engage to close the gap, and he's gone for the Sion, basically taking one for the team.
And you can see on the stats that popped up when it was locked in. Granted, these are only the stats for play-ins so far here at MSI, but 0-3, the big man up in the top lane has not been having a great time thus far. We'll see if maybe Secret Whale and Pun can turn that one around. But now it's time for the grand reveal. Is it support Skarner? Is it jungle Skarner? Which Skarner will we see today? Oh, we've got the Shen locked in here for HLE.
So this is something that we've seen in LCK and a little bit in LPL as an answer into the Sion. Basically like, hey, we're going to just farm it out. Neither of us are going to kill each other. But it makes it very difficult for you to try and play around the bottom lane. Oftentimes you've seen it more with like Kog'Maw Lulu, though, as that like overall protection. But maybe we're not getting it. Maybe it is just the Shen in that support role. So basically giving a little bit more towards Zeus there.
Yeah, Shen in the support role. I mean, obviously, you've already got the Jayce and the Cassiopeia locked in, most likely for your solo lanes. I still feel like because jungle Shen can be played, there is still the question of, does Shen go jungle?
But
does
even
Skarner
Jayce
go
jungle has been seen as well, which I wasn't sure about.
There's so much flex potential between these three, so we'll wait for the bar to run down, guarantee that we know exactly what is going on here. And it does look like as that bar approaches the end, it is the Skarner in the jungle. It is the Shen in the support role here for Delight.
Yeah, so I still think you're going to have a decent time. Basically, you're going to be able to stop some of these extra auto attacks coming through, and the ability to roam around the Shen is very strong, especially as you crest over to that level 6. It's just going to make it very difficult for Team Secret Whales to punish Zeus on the Jayce in the top lane, because anytime you try and play up there, oh, well, there's a Shen that's backing him up. So I think a lot of this game going to revolve around setting Zeus up for success, which has kind of been a little bit of the HLE way.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. They like to play around that. I already mentioned back earlier on in the draft, Gumayusi being on the Ziggs, it's a great pick because you kind of just weak side that bottom lane. You play around elsewhere. Having Delight on something like the Shen means, okay, at any point he can be laning with the Ziggs and then he just takes off somewhere else to help across the map. But let's go ahead and get into it. Onto the rift for game number 1 of main stage MSI 2026. Global power rankings there at the top, powered by AWS. HLE coming in at number 5. Team Secret Whales number 16. So a good difference, at least by those metrics, between the two squads.
Yeah, it is definitely an uphill battle for Team Secret Whales, especially as we have seen them on the main stage before as Dire taking some heavy trades, because this was going to be my focus of this matchup. You know, Zeka on the counter pick in the mid lane, and Dire, we've seen him at internationals, but he hasn't quite been able to find that same success that he has domestically on the international stage. And I'm hoping this time around, after those few appearances, he's been able to figure out how he can play against some of the top mid laners in the world.
Yeah, you think about Team Secret Whales and where we've seen them before, and it's one of those things that has been a bit of a tough journey, but Vendetta is Riftbound's next set. You can see Jayce popping up right there. Arriving July 31st, it brings together new champions, iconic rivalries, and beautiful art from across Runeterra. Whether you want to collect or play, Vendetta has something for you, so check that one out. That'll be after MSI is all said and done, so maybe some of those champs will pop off, give you a better reason to go after those rarest cards. But talking about Secret Whales, this is a team, remember, everybody kind of got inspired and hyped up around the LCP last year when we got to see the Flying Oysters come out and kind of just shock everybody, showing that, hey, this region, when their players are really locked in, they can compete. And then obviously, you know, losing a couple of those players through the exodus of the region, it makes things a little bit more difficult. But now Secret Whales, they qualified to Worlds last year, and they ended up placing, they weren't eliminated first in 15th or 16th, but they did get eliminated in that 12th through 14th place. Obviously not what they were looking for. Then they qualified a first stand earlier this year, and they go out first in that 7th and 8th place. So for Secret Whales, it's really not been the international outcomes they've wanted so far.
Domestically, though, they've been insane as, oh, Dire.
Oh, Delight with a taunt flash right on top of Dire. The flash away, but it won't be enough. First blood over to Zeka.
Very early roam for Delight. Manages to find that flash taunt in the mid lane and sets up on the person we're saying we wanted to see have a bit of an easier time, but there is no time for him here.
No, that is rough, man. Let's take another look at it as Delight just goes in.
Yeah, I mean, taunt flash, perfectly executed. And I think you can kind of see the pings coming through from Team Secret Whales, question marking where he was, but just didn't expect him to be there that early. A level 2 Shen in the mid lane is not something you see regularly.
And now, both of these mid laners, with no mobility built into the kit, both of them running the Deathfire touch, because remember again, this is we're in a world where there is no more, there's no more phase rush, right? So it's very easy now to make repeat trips for either side over to the mid lane.
Yeah, and you can see already, like, there's pings onto the Raptors. I think Kanavi just wants to try and steal the camp away. But this is where it does get very difficult for Dire because Kanavi can come through multiple angles. This camp, though, is going to be the first fight that we have between the two junglers.
All right, let's see who comes out on top. Hizto can burst down the large chicken. Kanavi makes his way into the mid lane instead, slowing down D-Ray. It's disaster in the mid lane for Secret Whales as HLE picks up another one. Kanavi collecting the money on this one.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. D-Ray wanted to try and help out Hizto, but ends up having to give his life because this is what we're saying. HLE just turn and burn onto D-Ray because he has nothing left but Hizto trying to see if he can make magic happen against Zeus.
Yeah, they got to get something back. They got to slow down this HLE war machine here a little bit. Hizto coming in. Zeus using To the Skies defensively to get a little bit of extra distance. Flashes away from the decimating smash. They'll at least get the summoner spell up here, but it also cost the flash from Pun, so really not a huge win for Secret Whales.
Yeah, just trying to get something back, as you were saying, and at least if you can burn that for Zeus, maybe, especially as Pun starts to hit level 6, you get that opportunity to try and chase down the Jayce, but we'll have to see how that one starts to pan out, because already HLE, 2 kills in this early stages, and Delight is now topside to make sure that Zeus can crash this wave alongside Kanavi. Like, it is difficult to crack HLE.
And we talked a little bit about it in draft, but the whole idea of the previous criticisms of Zeka being a player with like a limited champion pool, now that he's on HLE, playing with Kanavi as his jungler, who is very aggressive, it unlocks him to be able to more comfortably play these traditional mages in lane. And 1-0-1 start with a 900 individual gold lead before 5 minutes. You can't ask for much better here in the early game.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy with this. As Delight, skirmishing against VA here. You have both junglers on this side of the map, but more interest in the ward than anything else. And this is kind of what we expected for HLE, right? You talked about it coming through from the draft. The Ziggs in the bottom lane opens up for Delight to start to move. Delight will be slow on getting to that level 6, though, because he's been so active in the early stages on the map. But I think the results are happy enough for the HLE support.
Yeah, getting the first blood on your mid laner 2 minutes into the game. Sure, I'll take my slow Shen level 6 and trade for that. Back down here in bottom lane, though, the farm between the carries is pretty much dead even, so Eddie making sure that he's keeping up with Gumayusi there, and that's very important considering, you know, mid lane is already kind of a hemorrhage in terms of gold. Jungle and top also both slightly ahead for HLE, but this is kind of what you expect. If you're going into round 1 of an international tournament, you're playing against the Korean first seed, they're going to be a really tough opponent.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to continue because Hizto is now clearing out his Raptor camp, but you can see the Scuttle Crab is spawned on this top side. Kanavi already has push mid, so should be able to take this, although both junglers have smite. So curious to see if there will be a contest here.
Okay. Let's see here. Hizto's just backing away for now. Kanavi very close to level 6. Hizto the same. The fight over this crab is going to determine who has ulti, and with Kanavi landing the smite, that means Skarner with Impale is something that Hizto has to respect. Immediately backs up as Kanavi claims a little bit more space, places that ward down in the tri-brush, just to try to help keep Zeus a little bit more safe.
Yeah, Hizto isn't entirely sure, though, where Kanavi is right now. And I was going to say he would love to try and play off of Zeus in this top side, but is playing very safe. You can see he actually put a ward into his own jungle there, just on the top. That's a big circle. Hang on, the small ward. Just there, onto his own top side. A bit afraid that Kanavi, with the pushing mid and pushing top, might invade on towards the red buff. But because he's unsure, doesn't actually commit for the topside play. They even move Bay up into that top end as well to try and help out. But Zeus is able to crash the wave, play it safe, and isn't punished on the overextension when he doesn't have the flash.
All right, Delight and BA both still not level 6, of course. Going to be a little while before we get there. BA does take over to level 5 first, however. Zeka and D-Ray over here in mid lane just about have the flashes off of cooldown, particularly when we're in international competition watching the top level teams. I always try to pay extra close attention to those last 20 seconds or so of a summoner spell cooldown because teams are so good at tracking it. They're so good at trying to make a play right at the very edge. But it looks like we are not going to see that here this time as the summoner spell cooldowns are back and available. But Dagda, it's just about 8 minutes on the clock. The grubs are about to spawn, and it's over a 2,000 gold lead for HLE.
Yeah, it's also Hizto's about to hit level 7, and your famous 000 is still on the clock there for him. So
yeah.
It's unfortunate because, honestly, Team Secret Whales, like, domestically, have been incredible. like 10-0. The only series they've lost all year long has been to DCG. Like, they have been more than dominant in the LCP, but unfortunately haven't quite been able to get success yet as Delight's top lane.
Yeah, Delight making another move towards a solo lane. This time it's Pun who's in trouble. Zeus just needs a little bit more damage to take him down. One last auto attack seals the deal, and HLE make it a 3-0 game.
Yeah, Pun at least should be able to collect the wave, which is a little bit of a silver lining, but already you can see HLE very much want to pick up the pace of this game. And Delight has been everywhere. And this is kind of what we were talking about coming in, is Delight now having access to... Engage is a weird one maybe for Shen, but like...
We'll still call it Engage.
Yeah,
sure.
Having these playmaking champions, more so than the enchanters, are perfect for him. And already getting active on the map. Like, I think this is my favorite part of watching the way metas develop for MSI, like seeing all these roaming timers from the supports and like really playing on the edge of where they can be on the map has been so sick to see.
Ooh, Eddie down to 300 HP. Gumayusi flashing forward aggressively on the Ziggs, forcing the return flash. Now Kanavi could be in a little bit of danger. Flashes away from decimating Smash, but Team Secret Whales is making a 4-man play after the Skarner. Petrifying gaze to try to get one back from Zeka, but it's not enough. Kanavi falls, and Team Secret Whales finally make their way onto the board.
There's what Raz was talking about on the desk, though. You know, giving up those lanes at the top side for Pun, moving down to cover on the play. They do get a kill, but it does go to the support, and you're also losing some of those waves in the top lane. So while it's nice, unfortunately for Team Secret Whales, they don't fully come out of that unscathed.
Yeah, they get the money from the kill, but turret plates being mined top, being mined bottom, it's a problem. Team Secret Whales at least also did get themselves the first Drake of the game, but this 2,500 gold lead is the scariest thing in the scoreboard right now, my friend.
Yeah. And you can see here, so Bay just finding that roam timer to move towards mid, but Kanavi very tanky at this stage, so they move Pun down in the hopes that he can help out. But Kanavi, oh, hang on.
Right back to live. Zeus under pressure. Delight makes his way into the fight, trying to protect his top laner, as now both of them try to get out. Focus onto Zeus here for the Jayce, but Kanavi has arrived. Hizto's already got the first kill as Zeus dies. Now Kanavi's got to be a little bit careful. There's not a lot of damage here on the HLE side, so they won't be able to get anything back. Nice moves from Team Secret Whales.
Very nice move by Team Secret Whales, managing to move that play from mid into the top side and catching out Zeus, who had stepped forward, had just got his flashback, so thought he was going to be safe, especially having Delight hit that level 6. But there's just more members of Team Secret Whales there.
I was talking about making plays right before the cooldown timer of the flash returns. Sometimes it's the insidious overconfidence of getting the cooldown back
yeah,
that you can
that's
then
where
punish. And that's what Team Secret Whales just did. The gold lead obviously still far in favor of HLE, but Team Secret Whales not going to go down without a fight. Hizto up to a 500 gold lead individually here, and this guy is really the engine. I mentioned it earlier about him, how he works in this game. The heir to Levi is the question, right? You think back to part of the biggest demonstrations from the LCP historically, you know, like the PCS, the LMS, and their international performances. You think of Levi, you think of the Gigabyte Marines, you think of this crazy aggressive style, and that's exactly kind of what you need to see from Hizto if they're going to have a chance against a team like HLE.
Yeah, still, HLE chasing Team Secret Whales down into this bottom side. Secret Whales kind of just, need to back away here, but with the reset coming through on Eddie, I think they're just going to look for the turret plates or a little bit of a push on this bottom side. But you can see HLE like trying to get aggressive, get vision down onto Hizto to spot out exactly where this Lee Sin's moving.
And right there you can see Gumayusi. This is his first international series without Keria, Faker, or Owner. That roster that was together for so very long, that core lineup now broken up. It's Gumayusi's turn to prove his strength outside of that Goliath that was assembled.
Yeah, still has a little bit of comfort there with Zeus in the top lane, right? But it does feel weird to not have them as a group, especially in an international competition. And especially for Gumayusi, like this is his 5th time in a row at MSI. Like it's got to feel different with a different jersey on, but we'll have to see if he can maybe find that first win for himself at this tournament.
Down here in the bottom lane, Eddie under pressure yet again from Gumayusi, who continues chasing him down here in the 1v1. Guma, he doesn't care about being weak-sided. He's still stronger than the other weak-sided carries, so he's going to play aggressively. Kanavi invading the enemy red buff here at the same time, trying to scare Hizto away. Delight right behind Kanavi. Hizto goes in, secures his own red, and gets over the wall as BA is waiting. But now Kanavi coming in, trying to get something back. Pun comes in here but he's not going to get a whole lot for the unstoppable onslaught. Just makes his way towards the turret. That's all he wants. He just needs to clear away the wave. Meanwhile, down here on the bottom side, Gumayusi about to use the satchel charge, blow up that first turret, but they're going to make a play. On the other side, it's D-Ray moving down to the bottom lane, but a TP also about to arrive from HLE. Gumayusi just sat D-Ray down! In a 1v2, he didn't even need Zeka's help. He sends the Ryze back to the fountain and tells Ezreal, you're next. Gumayusi, man.
That Luden's echo damage is doing work. D-Ray, I'm so sorry. He moves down to the bottom side, thinks he's helping out, only give him more gold across. And with the tower going down as well in that bottom side, Zeus getting plates in the top side. Look at the gold lead that's opening up across all the carries on HLE right now.
This is scary, man. You mentioned earlier the question posed to Secret Whales and specifically to D-Ray is you've been at international stages a couple of times. You are domestically dominant, but international performances have not been where he wants them to be. And this first game, unfortunately for Team Secret Whales, is going the exact same way. D-Ray targeted 2 times very early on, gets off to a bad start. Then when he finally goes to make the play to try to get a punish and get back into the game, instead, he gets exploded by Gumayusi's Ziggs as Zeka goes over the wall. Sonic Wave connects, but I am telling you right now, Hizto, you do not want to press that Q again.
I don't think Hizto wants to be where he is right now. Trying to be a secret agent to see if he can sneak his way out of this one, but Gumayusi spotted him.
Yeah, Gumayusi just hunting him down. Immediate Dragon's Rage into the Sonic Wave. Gumayusi bouncing back away as the Stand United is ready to protect the carry. TP's coming in. Mega Inferno Bomb collides onto Hizto. He's down to 200 HP. Everybody trying to block the Shock Blast. Zeus wants the angle, seeing if maybe he can find it. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, it just ends up being a leash in the end, but that was a risky one. As Kanavi, knowing that Hizto is run for the hills, is going to be able to secure this dragon. But we see here, like, Gumi, this play, like, D-Ray thought he's helping out because he's relatively healthy, but the lead on levels for Gumayusi and D-Ray not really having the support of Eddie. Immediately, Guma's able to turn that one around.
Yeah, normally you don't expect, as the mid laner going into the bottom lane, that the enemy bot lane carry will out-level you. Yeah. But that's just the state of things right now.
Also just item difference, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at the items for D-Ray. He's kind of holding on with a few components in a prayer. That was not anything compared to Luden's echo damage that Gumayusi has. Like, this Ziggs on this item spike is so insanely strong, and unfortunately D-Ray had to be the one to prove it.
Yeah, D-Ray struck Catalyst and Swift March plus a tier. This is a very budget build, we will politely call it.
Yeah.
D-Ray's got a lot of catching up to do to try to be relevant in this game, but 15 minutes in, a 5,000 gold lead, HLE has already built something that now relies on one of their own blunders for Team Secret Whales to come back.
And they're just not going to give them that moment, right? They've dropped bot wave. They're like, cool, look, you can get some turret plates. We're going to push on mid, get full vision control on this top side, and look for more.
Yeah, Pun tries to jump in there and scare them away, loses half of his HP for his efforts. Zeka tried to go for the Petrifying Gaze, but doesn't land the stun, so Pun stays alive. But the pressure continues from the HLE solo laners. Kanavi supporting them here on the side, summons up the Rift Herald, hops right on in. Kaboom! Knocks down the tier 2 turret. Dagda, I don't think they're stopping.
No.
I think it's a full base push. At 16 minutes into the game, the Herald collides into the tier 3 turret. Team Secret Whales trying to defend. The True Shot Barrage flies through, but it will not matter. Pun caught up immediately with the taunt into the Ishtal impact. Pun is already down. The inhibitor falls. 16 minutes and 27 seconds into the first game, and HLE is marching on the Nexus.
That is not what I expected to be saying at 6.5 minutes into this game. But they will back away. Now, traditionally, you're not supposed to take the inhibitor at this time.
No.
Because, you know, there's no Baron and you can't use the super creeps effectively. I don't know if that's an issue this game, because you have a massively accelerated poke comp that can siege anywhere, anytime on the map and kind of ruin Team Secret Whales' day. This one might be a quick one, Flowers.
Gumayusi just bought his Shadow Flame. We now have 2 fully completed items on both the Ziggs and the Cassiopeia. Zeka is about to evolve his Archangel Staff into the Seraph's Embrace in one more spell cast, right? Just hit a random minion with Twin Fang. Okay, that thing's fully completed. Top lane, Zeus already has his second item done now with the Serpent's Fang. I'm not seeing the way back into the game for Team Secret Whales, barring just a massive error from HLE, and they're not playing like they're going to commit one of those.
Yeah. I mean, this is clinical, right? And I do think this is why people are looking at HLE as one of the top teams coming into this tournament.
Yeah.
Like, it's this sort of precision. We got a small lead, and now we're ruining Pun's day again.
Yeah, Pun is, he's barely hanging on to life. Meanwhile, Kanavi and Zeus just putting the pressure on 2 points at once. These are the plays that you normally see when a team has Baron. Baron will not be on the Rift for another 2 minutes as HLE just continues mounting the pressure. Delight bouncing back and forth between the two sides. Still only level 7 on the Shen, doesn't matter. He got level 6, he has the R button, that's all he needs.
Yeah, I mean, he got the locket off with all the assists as well, so the shields on shields. Mid lane tower, can they save it here?
Oh, Delight trying to make the taunt there, but will not be able to connect on that one as Team Secret Whales disengages and finds the punish. TSW looking for a little bit more now. Decimating smash over the wall, not gonna get a whole lot. Eddie down to 20% HP, Mega Inferno Bomb! It might just burn him away, but no, not quite enough damage. Hizto about to die, but the Impale misses. Zeka goes forward, Hizto still running. Zeka needs one more Noxious Blast and a Twin Fang. Last one hits him. Zeka makes it a 1-for-1 trade overall as Delight is back alive now. Zay is still looking for a little bit more. D-Ray, run! Okay, for a second I thought that might have been another Ryze death.
Eddie not dying might be the only reason that Team Secret Whales are able to hold on to this game, because I think if there was only 3 people here, HLE would have taken that big wave in top lane and looked to try and finish off some of these Nexus turrets. But either way, HLE, like, it's 40 seconds until Dragon and Baron, and like, I just don't care. I think they just siege the base. Like, how do you do anything else? Because look at the damage from Gumi here. Because it's a nice pick onto the light. Gumayusi then TP's in as BA gets this. But the bombs from Gumayusi onto Eddie are insane. Like, the man just health bar disappears. And then the only fact that you don't have any burn in the kit for Ziggs right now is the reason that Ezreal is still standing.
Yep, he hit him with one landmine, the Luden's proc, and then one bouncing bomb, and that was 70% of his HP.
Yeah.
Like, it's very difficult to play the game from that angle at that point. And here's a stat we've got for you. Fastest game at MSI so far in the play-in stage, 23 minutes and 37 seconds. That was T1 versus Team Liquid. It is very possible for this game to beat that record, because I feel like if HLE just wants to rush Baron and then rush the enemy base, that's probably game.
Yeah, I would like that statistic to stand, though, because at least then we've got something over NA this tournament as an EU man.
G2 has yet to play.
That is fair.
Later on today.
That is fair. That is fair.
Maybe they'll give you all something impressive as Delight avoids the Shattering Strike, gets himself away for now. Rest of HLE not quite in position to back him up. As you can see, Kanavi and Zeka working together to just burn down this Drake. I do not see a world where this goes to be a Dragon Soul game. I just don't think it'll go long enough, but HLE are making sure to just play the game right, take what you need to take, secure all the objectives, and now you can see them starting to head up towards this top side of the map, towards this red buff quadrant of Team Secret Whales. Zeka, the only one apart from the rest of the team, is pushing down the bottom lane. Teleport coming in now. Zeka ready to join the rest of the team. Kanavi goes in with the Ishtal impact. D-Ray's going to be your target here. Kanavi continues the chase. Mega Inferno Bomb goes through. Flash forward from Kanavi, but it doesn't get stopped from Decimating Smash. No way out for BA. That's one pick over to HLE. And another one sent on the run as D-Ray barely survives. And you can see now HLE, it's a conga line towards Baron.
Yeah, going to be happy to pick up the big purple worm, and I think that might just seal the deal here. With only 2 inhibitor turrets left remaining. HLE just kind of have control. Guma on his own, though. Hizto, maybe?
Oh,
the Realm Warp.
Okay, takes the satchel charge, gets himself away. Stand united preemptively, just making sure that he stays safe. D-Ray is now caught on the wrong side of the rift. Zeus should just be able to catch him up here with a nice accelerated shock blast as soon as the cooldown's ready to go. The chase continues. A little bit more. Ooh, D-Ray's actually...
Honestly?
Okay, D-Ray
that worked.
Him. Okay.
Well, he got away, and you pulled him off Baron.
He, about that got away part, I don't quite think. Okay. He evades the rock. The upheaval does not connect.
Another
but now,
challenger
every
approaches.
time he evades one man, the next man steps up to catch him. It was a valiant effort from D-Ray, but after they send the third guy, it's pretty over.
Yeah, look, he got deep on his first run in the roguelike, but unfortunately, you know, you have to go down eventually, and then they give you the upgrade.
Boss. Yeah, it's just, you can get through the first 2 phases. That's pretty good on your first run. 8,500 gold lead for HLE. Every single individual roll ahead, with top lane ahead almost 3,000 gold, bottom lane ahead almost 3,000 gold, mid lane ahead 2,000 gold. It's just, you're seeing why HLE is one of the teams that many people have predicted as a tournament favorite.
Yeah, and I think this is... oh, hang on.
Oh, no. All right. Goodbye, BA. He tried to get out, but Delight, CC plus Zeus' damage way too much. Hizto escapes most of the way, but I mean, man, just the edge of the Mega Inferno Bomb still hurts. And look at Gumayusi's inventory, Dagda. 2 needlessly large rods. He's this close to having a hat. And once he does, it's just going to be whoever gets hit by the ultimate loses half their health instantly.
Yeah, it's a party hat in this one. They're going to feel very, very comfortable from... I do, like, as I was going to say for HLE, I think it's incredibly impressive to see how this team's come together, because obviously it was a little ropey at the start of their split. There was the whole 10th place meme, but I do think like this team looks exceptional now. They have their identity. Kanavi looks absolutely insane. Gumayusi being able to bring out a ton of these mages, which really fits the meta and also opens up the light then to start playing around, I think is really putting them into a super interesting spot, especially going up against a team like BLG that plays a somewhat similar style. It's just going to be such a sick tournament to watch these two and a couple like teams like T1 and Top eSports and G2 and yada yada all battle it out.
And I just love how fast HLE likes to play as well. As you can see, I think we've got our final Hail Mary coming out here from Team Secret Whales. BA approaching on the flank, but as soon as they try to make a move, Hizto nearly dies the very start, but Zeus is popped. Pun gets the kill. Nice move from Team Secret Whales. They managed to get one, but now they got to make sure they don't lose too much on the exit. Zeka still moving forward. Mid lane inhibitor about to fall. Yes, Zeus is down, but HLE will still successfully use the Baron to break into the base and crush the mid lane inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Team Secret Whales. They're already making HLE work for these last couple of minutes. And it's just unfortunate that there is a 3,000 gold lead on Gumayusi. There's that Rabadon's death cap you were talking about. Yep. It's just, there's not enough in the tank. So even when you get some of these good engages, it's the follow-up that you have to be careful about, the punch back.
And you can see Zeus with the Voltaic Cyclo stored in inventory now. He's 3 fully completed items. Zeka bought his arm guard a long time ago. He has not been under enough pressure to ever have to use it. So now he's just building other stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? As long as I have this, I'm fine. As Kanavi, Ishtal's impact through the wall, gets the slow onto BA, and nice use of the Impale to buffer through the defensive CC. Makes it easy for HLE to pick up another one. That is BA dead for 25 seconds. That is the main engage tool of Team Secret Whales. And HLE still have their Red Bull Baron power play for the next minute and 15 seconds. They're going to use it to bust through the last remaining Tier 3 turret. This inhibitor is going to be open. The top lane inhibitor is open. The mid lane inhibitor is already wreckage. And HLE have a 5v4 for the next 5 seconds. BA is going to be alive to try to defend the Nexus turrets. But Team Secret Whales, they're staring down the barrel at the end of the game right now. Delight goes in, tries to find Hizto, isn't going to get him. Hizto evading that for now. First Nexus turret already down. HLE continuing the push, still have the Baron for another 45. Pun tries to jump in, not going to find the angle he's looking for. Kanavi on the chase, True Shot Barrage goes through, only hits Kanavi. That's not good enough. Secret Whales still scrambling. Second Nexus turret going to be your target now. They want to defend it, but Gumayusi wants to end it. Pun has to flash out, barely staying alive. Petrifying Gaze locks everybody up. Pun dies to the Mega Inferno Bomb, and his mid laner dies beside him. D-Ray's also gone. The remaining Secret Whales have to hide away inside the fountain, and even then, they may not survive. The bouncing bombs just terrorizing the health bars here as HLE dominates Game 1.
A very confident performance from HLE in game number 1. Insane. I don't really know how you're supposed to kind of come back from that, if I'm honest. But let's toss it over to the AD to break that one down.